Hello and welcome to today's lesson for linear algebra. Today we're covering Module 5, Lesson 3, and our learning target is we will be able to write linear relationships and bivariate data. Now bivariate data, this prefix bi means two, so we're going to have two pieces of data. And we've already been having two pieces of data. That's why we have had an X and a Y in all of our problems when we're writing our equation. And we've had ordered pairs, X, Y. And then we've been writing equations in slope-intercept form, Y equals blank, X plus blank, where slope goes here and the y-intercept here goes here. So we're going to be talking about data and bivariate, so two different pieces, like miles per hour, gallons per second. Okay, so we have two comparisons. So before we get going too far here, we're going to do one problem of review. So writing an equation of a line with a slope of 5 through the ordered pair, -2, 7. So we want to write an equation, so that means we're going to have y equals blank x plus blank. And like we just said, slope goes in this first blank. So what do they tell us here? The slope is 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put a 5 in here. Now we're going to use where we substitute and then we multiply and then we either add or subtract depending on what we need to do to get b by itself. So there's three steps, and the first one is substitution. Okay, so we're going to substitute the ordered pair. So this is your x, this is your y, to make sure that we put the 7 in for y. And then in place of x, we're going to plug in a -2, and we're going to solve for that y-intercept. So 7 equals -10 plus b. So we've done substitution by substituting in the -2 and the 7. Then we just did our multiplying because we multiplied 5 times -2. Now we're either going to add or subtract. And remember, I always have to do the opposite. So this is a plus 10 on both sides. So we're going to get 17 equals b. So our y-intercept here is going to be 17, so make sure you go fill that in. All right, going on to today's information. So we've got a chart, and it says a handrail runs alongside a stairwell. A horizontal distance from the bottom changes as the height of the handrail changes. Show that the relationship is linear. Well, think about that. Isn't that handrail a straight line? So they're asking us to write an equation, y equals blank x plus blank. So we need to fill in slope first. So to do slope, I need two ordered pairs. And I'm going to pick any two off of this chart. Any two they tell me will work. I'm just going to pick the first two, 5, 7, and then the 10, 11, because they just give me smaller numbers. So remember, slope is change in y over change in x. So our y values here are going to be 11 minus 7. And because I did bottom to top, I have to do the same thing. So I have to do 10 minus 5. So 11 minus 7 is 4, and 10 minus 5 is 5. So there is our slope is going to be 4/5. So I can go fill that in the first blank. So if my slope now is 4/5, pick any ordered pair, and it doesn't matter which one you pick. I am just going to pick this first one, x, y. Y is 7. So 7 equals 4/5, and then I'm going to put in a 5 plus b. So go ahead and grab your calculators and do your math, and whatever happens here, so 5 on top, 5 on the bottom, they cancel out. So 7 equals 4 plus b. Now I have to subtract 4. I'm kind of running out of room here. So 7 minus 4 is 3. So 3 equals b. Now make sure you go fill that in. So y equals 4/5 x plus 3. All right, so now we're writing the equation, and that's all they ask us to do. So here's our final answer of writing the equation of this chart. All right, so here we have something in a line and something in a chart, and they're going to ask us to write the equation of each one. So y equals blank x plus blank. Now, one thing that this graph shows me is where this line is crossing that y-axis. So because of that, it's pretty easy to see that that thing is starting right here at 20. So my initial value, or my y-intercept, is 20, so we can go ahead and fill that in. Now I need my slope. To find my slope, I need 2 points here. So I can use any 2 points that I want on this graph. So I'm just going to use that first one that they gave me, 0, 20. And I just need one more. And this one looks like it's going to be at 5, 40. Okay, so I go over here 5 and up here to 40, so I have 540. And remember, slope is always change in y over change in x. So I have 40 minus 20 and 5 minus 0. So 40 minus 20 is 20, and 5 minus 0 is 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. So now we found out what our slope is. That goes in your first blank. All right, number 2. Again, they're asking us to write an equation, y equals blank x plus blank, but we don't have a nice ordered pair. They don't just tell us that this is 0 hours and what this is. So it looks like I'm going to have to find my slope and then go ahead and do like that first warm-up sample where we substitute in, multiply, and then add or subtract. So I'm just going to use these first 2 ordered pairs. So I'm going to use the 2, 480, and I'm going to use the 15 and the 3600 here to find my slope. So remember, y's go on top. So I have 3600 minus 480. So y goes on top, and 15 minus 2. Well, I can do that bottom one in my head. 15 minus 2 is 13. So I know that one in my head, but now I'm going to grab my calculator and take 3600 minus 480. And I think I get 3,120. Now 3,120 divided by 13 is 240. So I can go ahead and fill in this first blank is 240. But now I need to find my y-intercept over here. So I'm going to use this first ordered pair as x, and this is y. So I'm going to substitute in place of y, 480. And in place of x, I'm going to put a 2, and I'm going to solve for b. So 240 times 2, oh, that is 480, plus b. So what happens here is I subtract 480, and I end up with 0 equals b. So you can certainly put that 0 in there if you want. On a test, I would not mark that wrong. But the equation is y equals 240x, which is telling me when I graph this, it's going to go through the origin of 0, 0. All right, let's see what else we have going on here. All right, making predictions. So this is the last major part of what we're doing here, and we're trying to make predictions. So once you have your equation, can you make predictions of what other things are? So they want us to predict what 6.5 miles are. So 2, 4, so it's going to be somewhere between here, not exact, maybe 7. So I know it's somewhere between here, but I'm going to write my equation, and then I'm going to use that to help me make my prediction. Okay, so they have the ordered pair, and you can see they already actually solved for slope. So the first thing they did is they took the 2 y values and subtracted, and then they did the 2 x values and subtracted, and they got their slope to be 2. So now I need to find my y-intercept. I'm just going to use that first ordered pair that they gave us, 2, 7, and this is x, and this is y. So in place of y, I'm going to substitute my 7. And in place of x, I'm going to substitute my 2. And I'm looking for my y-intercept. So 7 equals 4 plus b. I'm going to do that opposite operation. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. And 3 equals b, which makes sense. It's kind of right here, but I didn't know exactly where it was at and if it was going to be 3 or a decimal. So now here's my equation. Y equals 2x plus 3. Now, the real question that they're asking us is make a prediction when it's 6.5 miles. So they're asking us to substitute in place of x. They want us to put in that 6.5, which is what we have been doing here, is making charts and being able to fill in a chart. So 2 times 6.5 is 13 plus 3, and we get 16. So we would expect to go, if we're going to go 6.5 miles, we would expect the cost to be $16. Okay, so what I just kind of did here is making a chart. Okay, when we made our chart here, this is x, this is y, and they said if we went 2 miles, it would be $7. So this one is miles, and this is your cost. Another ordered pair they gave you is if you go 6 miles, your cost would be $15. Well, what we just found out here is if you went 6.5 miles, your cost would be 16. So basically, we're just making a chart. All right, so making some more observations. So it looks in here, if you work 2 hours, oh, that comes out nice. If we go here to 2, we go straight up and over, it looks like that would be $30. So 3.25, ooh, that wouldn't be so good. So we do have the ordered pair of 2, 30, and this one, because it's at a decimal value, is not going to be so easy. So then at 8 hours, let's see if they have here, 2, skip a line, 8, see that doesn't even go up that far. So let's see if we can write an equation here of y equals blank x. Now, why am I not going to do that plus blank? If you look, is this going through the origin? And because it's going through the origin, remember we can just take y over x, which is going to be 30 over 2, and we can get that to be 15. So we can fill in 15 right here, and we know it doesn't have a y-intercept because it's going through the origin. So now we can just plug in our number here of 3.25 and take 15 times 3.25. So now this is going to become a calculator problem, so you're going to have to multiply that out. And when I believe you do that, you get $48.75. And again, we could do the same thing now for working 8-hour days. So 15 times 8 is going to, well, I'm going to do 8 times 5 so that we get 40 hours. And then I'm going to take that 40 times 15. So I'm going to just do it that way instead, because they're saying 5 8-hour days. And so 40 times 15 is going to get me to be $600. So they would be making $600 a week. All right, so now you should be ready for your homework on page 144. Good luck. If you need to, go back and look at the video or look at your notes that you took. Good luck, and then watch the second video for the day.